All right, guys. Part two with Bryan Chung, the guy that says, "You're it's Bryan again."
I've been coming back to that actually.
Yeah, that gimmick is what actually makes you like really. I mean, you had like what is it like? A lot of people check out your views all the time. They always like your opinion about the matchups and all that. That's what I always see your perspective. But so let's get to the draft part. What do you think of the overall draft grade and what players that stood out? That the one that you liked the most?
I'd give it a B. I liked most of it, but I was a little surprised they didn't draft the receiver in at all in the draft.
Yeah, that was the most surprising part was the receiver.
Mm,
But if you look at the bright side, there's Austin Watkins, who's probably not that bad of a choice, even though he didn't get drafted. He should have been. I think maybe this
mm.
kid might be a steal.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But I
I mean,
guess, oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
he hardly dropped any passes at UNAB, so that might be a steal.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've had trouble with that with the receivers for a year or two now.
Yeah, it's been mostly consistency or durability with the receivers. That's been the issue with us lately.
Mm, mm. Well, hopefully Ayuk and Samuel can stay as healthy as they can, and that's our biggest Achilles heel right now. Is really no opponents, is just ourselves.
Yeah, injuries is what's been killing us, and that's what it been. That's what it's been like lately. But when we're healthy, we're at our best. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah. 2019 was a perfect example.
example was we were able to execute, run the ball effectively. Jimmy G was able to stay healthy for once. The receivers were starting to click in here and there. Debo was just breaking out. Kittle was just coming as a monster, just like the previous year where he was having a all-time record. Now he's just like kind of coming back into his own now. So
Yeah, yeah. I hope Kittle can go off like he did in 2019, and even in 2020, he still showed flashes as the best tight end, but he couldn't stay healthy as well. What, he missed like 8 games last year.
I believe so, but he still was able to be effective. I think he had about 700 yards receiving either way. But even with missing that kind of amount of games, that you gotta admit that he was able to still produce.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, if some people think that missing Kendrick Bourne was going to hurt us, I don't know. I think the next third receiver will probably produce a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah. But Kendrick, he was a good third down and red zone guy. I'll give him that.
Yeah, yeah. Red zone. If you needed him in the red zone, that's the guy you wanted to count on. As far as him being consistent, that's been his main kind of weakness. But if he keeps improving it, it's going to come a long ways. But I think with the next receivers we got, we're just hoping that Jalen Hurd can stay healthy and be that guy, or maybe Jaquan Jennings. But I have high hopes on Richie James. I think
Yeah,
he's
me
got an
too.
opportunity.
Me too. I wish Kyle would just give him more opportunities to play. I don't know why he's not doing that, but he should. And he had that one game against Green Bay when everybody was testing positive left and right, and he had the game of his career.
Yeah, he almost had like 300 yards, which and
Mm-hmm.
then he still wasn't able to get more opportunities, man. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Kyle sometimes he has his like favorite guys. Like he always like tries to force players onto us, but sometimes it doesn't work out. I'm trying to think of an example. He tried that. Uh, sh- like CJ Beathard and yeah, CJ Beathard. Remember Beathard like a couple years ago? Like he had Nick Mullins. That time we didn't know who he really was, and he kept forcing him, and then he got hurt, and Mullins played really well in 2018.
Yeah, Shanahan's team seems to have favoritism with certain players. Like example, like Trent Taylor. We all know he's not that
Oh
great.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
maybe his rookie year he was looking promising, but he just wasn't the same guy. So Shanahan kept mentoring him like kind of like everything else, and then at some point, you got to realize that guy's not working. Oh, what's up to my favorite rival, the guy from the NFC West Roundtables, DJ
Ah,
Smith, man. That's my guy right here. But maybe by next Saturday when we do the roundtable, I'll probably have to do one on my lunch break because I work
mm,
on outside of town, so it's like gets a little out of hands. But
yeah.
yeah, but see, Shanahan's probably starting to realize it. He's starting to like realize that he can't do what he used to do. Like he would have favorites, his favorites and all that. But
Mm.
maybe with Trey Lance, it'll change. Maybe he'll
Yeah,
change his ways.
yeah, he just has to put the best player that is playing right now really well and just put him on the field instead of just relying on the other guys. And those guys, they can really hurt your chances of winning games.
Yeah, I think if they just give Richie James more opportunities to play the slot, I think he deserves more role. But then again, you can't go wrong with Jalen Hurd. But Jalen Hurd can't stay healthy. Maybe we should just switch him to tight end so he can be the second tight end, and we can get everybody on the field. And maybe we can start developing Jaquan Jennings and Austin Watkins and here and there. We'll see how it goes.
Is Jennings on the roster right now, or is he still practice squad?
He's on the roster. He
Oh,
signed to
okay.
what is it? He signed the contract like after the season because he was injured, so we stashed him on injured
Hmm.
reserve into the practice squad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then like if you look at the players we got, okay, Trey Lance, we don't expect him to start right away, but if he does, if he somehow pulls a Russell Wilson and beats out Jimmy G, that would be some miracle. But we'll see. I don't want to rush the kid in. I want him to make sure he succeeds and doesn't go through the bumps like Alex Smith did.
Yeah, exactly. But I still love my man Jimmy G. I'm pretty sure you still like Jimmy G when he's healthy, not turning the ball over. But he's the best guy this year in particular.
Yeah, when healthy, we know he's a proven winner, and when you give him the best supporting cast and better line, I'm pretty sure Jimmy G will give us the best chance to win. But if people keep saying that we need to rush in and play Lance, I don't think it's the right time. I think you let this kid learn.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's chances you can put him in some place. I'm not saying we have to put him like a Taysom Hill type player, but try to give him some feel of the action a little bit and see what
Yeah,
he can do.
yeah. I love to see him play in preseason. That'd be exciting.
Yeah, give him some looks in preseason, but then if you want, you can do these little offensive gadget plays and try to see what he can do. Maybe there's a play where he could throw a deep ball to one of the other receivers and the guy can catch it or whatever, or try to do one of those run plays in the red zone and maybe you get something out of it. I mean, maybe like something similar to a Kaepernick situation to where Kaepernick got into those kind of plays, like that Jets
Y-
game where he was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
backup.
yeah. Kind of like Eagles last year with Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts before Hurts took over.
Yeah, that's what I think. If we do it like that, I think that's going to help the kid's confidence and like even from the get go, I think there's good depth. I mean, I don't know, like who do you think gonna make the roster? You think Rosen or it's gonna be Studfield? I think Studfield's got the guaranteed money. I wouldn't be surprised if we cut Rosen.
Yeah, but Sudfeld, I know he has a bad reputation after that last game, against Washington, but they just threw him in the fire to essentially tank their season. But yeah, that was kind of weird. But I think Rosen, he has a really good chance of making it. I think he got an unfair. He's had a very unfair time in the NFL in general. I mean, going to Arizona, then they draft Kyler Murray the next year, then goes to Miami, and then Tua comes in, and he just really never got that opportunity.
Yeah, that's what happens with Rosen. Like he was picked in a situation, but he was picked in a wrong environment. Like the Cardinals, they just didn't have no faith in him. And then when he went to Miami, Dolphins didn't have no faith in him. Then why'd you give up a second round pick for this guy?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
you give up some capital, but you're not going to let this guy get a chance.
Hmm.
I mean,
Well,
I think I understand what Rosen's going through, but maybe this will better him when he has to compete against Sudfeld, who's guaranteed some good money.
Well, during draft day, he said he like 9 other teams were going to regret drafting him. Maybe he has a little bit of a negative reputation in the NFL. Remember, he got drafted, and then he was like, "All these teams that passed over me were gonna regret not drafting me." And I think the teams are okay that passed him.
Well, I think it's because of his attitude, or from what I heard, is like he had like he wasn't like a guy that show up on time. He would come late and be all
Uh,
laid back or something like that. From what I heard, I don't know if that's what's true about it, but according to what I heard from I guess Jim Morrow even said that he was one of those kind of guys. Like
uh,
he would do the job, but he would slack off a little. That was
so
his
so
thing.
you're saying it's like kind of like Dwayne Haskins a little bit
A
work
little
ethic.
bit, yeah. A little more cocky, but kind of more chill, laid back kind of dude. Maybe a little bit like a little miniature of Rogers attitude.
Well, maybe he
Like
got humbled being a backup quarterback now.
I hope so because that's pretty much his last chance. Because I mean, if he can't even make the roster as a third string quarterback, then I think if I'm him, I go become a car salesman.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I know that sounds really tough to say, but that's the truth. I
I
believe.
mean, it's not the worst career. At least you tried. At least you played in the NFL. But if you can't make this roster as a third string quarterback, man, then you need to go find something else,
But I think
coach
Kyle
or
will give.
something.
Yeah, I think Kyle will give him an opportunity though. This training camp. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think the arm talent's there. It's just the attitude.
Hmm. But were you surprised that they drafted 2 running backs this draft?
Oh yeah, that caught me off surprise. When we were getting like Trey Sermon, I was like thinking, man, it wasn't quite a need, but now I can get why it's a luxury. Usually,
Yeah.
when we get luxury picks, they tend to play down the road. I
Mm.
think with Trey Sermon, it's going to be exactly the way how Baltimore used J.K. Dobbins rookie year. I think that's how it's going to work.
Mm.
And the other pick, Elijah Mitchell,
Mitchell. Mm.
I didn't think it would come to mind. I was like, wait, I said, wait a minute, we just signed Wayne Gallman. Are we
Yeah.
just kind of like are we just giving out free money to other people too? I mean, Wayne Gallman, if we cut him, he ain't gonna worry about it. Like, I mean, I guess he signed a low risk contract, but still. Then what
Yeah.
was the purpose of signing Wayne Gallman? Give the guy a
Mm.
chance.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. The guy I wanted, and I know you wanted it for sure, was Asante Samuel, but they traded down and they let LA pick him. I was a little
Yeah,
disappointed. Not gonna lie.
yeah. I was disappointed that we only traded down 5 spots, maybe 3 spots. We would have been all right, but come on,
Yeah.
man.
Mm.
It was like it was a need. It was an actual need. Like he could have replaced Williams or Verrett too. He can play both ways, and it was kind of disappointing. But what's even more disappointing is we could have got Trey Brown also, but Seattle got a good pick right there. This guy from Oklahoma is a dog, like straight
Mm.
up. But I'm good with Ambry Thomas. I think Ambry Thomas has got potential to be our
Yeah.
starter. What is it? Lenore. I think he's gonna be more of a slot corner, but maybe you can move him up outside. I
Mm.
think his upside is really good, but I
Yeah.
think he needs more coaching.
Isn't Thomas more man to man than zone from when he played in
Yeah,
Michigan?
yeah.
That's what we
Thomas played
need.
those. Yeah, he played a similar coverage like it with the Niners, but in Michigan, that's the way how Harbaugh runs that kind of defense that coordinator does.
Mm.
So he's feisty. I mean, when I watch a little bit of Ambry Thomas, I'm thinking kind of reminds me. I don't want to make an insult on this player, but in a way, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Chris Colliver, just based by
Oh
the
yeah.
style,
Yeah.
the feisty man, the feisty, the speed. Bro, this guy has the confidence. Like before Colliver left elsewhere, dude, he was our best corner besides Rogers. But if he would have stayed with us, I think he would have been a prominent Pro Bowl cornerback if he didn't leave to Washington. I mean, the guy
Mm.
was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we could get Richard Sherman back.
We're getting Sherman back.
I hope maybe. I mean, I'm surprised nobody signed him. I'm surprised Salah didn't get him in New York, or he didn't
Oh
go back to
yeah,
Pete Carroll.
there's been talks with Sherman. Like he's had talks between the Seahawks and the Niners, and it's coming down between those two teams. But he's been in a little bit of conversation with the Niners. But
Mm.
if Seattle offers a little bit better, I think he'll go back to Seattle.
Yeah, but I think there's still bad blood from the way he left Seattle. I don't think he had any in San Francisco.
Well, in San Francisco, it's more mutual. He understood. He wanted to go look elsewhere, but he never
Mm.
like. I mean, he said it in his own intentions. He did say, "I don't see myself coming back to San Francisco." But now, since nobody was interested in signing him, he has the open heart to say, "You know what? I'm open to go back to the Bay Area."
Mm.
Before that, he had intentions to go elsewhere. Like he even
Yeah.
said, "I ain't coming back."
Yeah.
But now that nobody wants him at the moment, he's gonna say, "Man, I'll just go back." That's like, what that kind of reminds me of.
What what
That kind of
what's
reminds
that?
me of an old job. It reminds me of an old job I left, and I
Mm.
said, "I ain't coming back." And then the moment I thought I was gonna get this job over there, it comes back to haunt me, and I go back over there.
Oh
That's
gosh.
what it seems like. That's what it seems like. Don't
I
you think
hopefully
that it's kind of?
hope he didn't burn any bridges.
No, I didn't burn any bridges. I just had my own. I gave him the notice and told him that I ain't coming back. Maybe I'll come back down the road, but my own intentions, I just thought, hey, I ain't coming back.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Mm.
But yeah, I think the receiving group is part of the least underrated on our group. Like I think, like when it comes down to Debo and Ayuk, they're two of the best receivers. But the third
Is you
receiver,
what was that? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
oh no, the third receiver, that's gonna be up for debate. But I think we do have a very underrated group.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think would be number one? Like they would like go after usually. Would it be Debo or Ayuk? I'd say Debo more because he's jack of all trades, but I think Ayuk is a stud.
I think Ayuk is mostly that number one guy because he doesn't just do a lot of gadget plays all the time. He's more of a natural route runner.
Yeah,
Debo's
yeah.
more like he can do it all, which is not a bad thing. He could be your good number two.
Mm,
So, but if we were to get an actual receiver, I would move Debo to the slot
yeah, yeah,
because then you can do a lot with this guy. But if I had to be straightforward about it, Ayuk is just he looks more like a number one than Debo does.
yeah, yeah. I can
Yeah,
concur with that.
yeah, because he can run the routes, he can separate a little here and there, and then when he gets even when you think you're gonna cover the guy, he'll catch the ball. So it's like this guy's got long arms.
That's good right there. That's good. Offensive line, Aaron Banks. How do you feel?
Aaron Banks, man, the pick is intriguing. We could have waited till the third round, but maybe he was at the right spot to be picked because
Mm,
when I had my own mock drafts, this guy would always be like a third or fourth rounder, maybe fifth round grade, and that's where he would be at. And I'm like scratching my own head at first and thinking like, okay, we got an offensive lineman, that's good. At least we got one. The thing is, he is graded better than Alex Leatherwood for some reason. Like I looked
oh
at
yeah,
the
yeah. The first
draft
round
grade.
from Raiders.
Yeah, he's a better grade. Like if you look at the grade that he's rated, bro, he's above this guy. If that was the case, the Raiders should have just taken Banks on that pick, and that would have been no question. But then they would say that's a reach.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
see, like I looked at the draft grades of all of them, and he was rated like as the I think he was rated as the second best guard in the draft,
Mm.
like natural
I heard it
wise.
around. Yeah, I heard of some website. I forgot.
Yeah, cause okay, when you look at the other guard, the dude from USC was rated the best, but Aaron Banks wasn't too far off.
Yeah.
And then you have and then Letterford was supposedly supposed to be a guard, but they're gonna like I guess the Raiders are gonna try him at tackle. He was graded like at least a third best guard.
Well, hopefully the Raiders that works out with them. But everybody I'd say including myself said that that was kind of a reach for the Raiders.
Yeah, usually they go for reach picks, but if you look at the other picks, who would have thought the Cowboys would get a linebacker? I mean, dude, Michael Person, where's he gonna play? Is he gonna play the Sam, the Will? I mean, I guess Sean Lee did retire, so it does leave a spot for them.
I feel like they wanted Patrick Surtain, but the Broncos kind of trolled him and picked him too. Not ninth over 10th.
Yeah, I think they wanted him, but they couldn't get him. They could have traded down a couple more spots and still get Caleb Farley, but people were saying Caleb Farley had medical issues, so that's what the downside was.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there was a Greg Newsome. If they would have traded down a couple spots here and there, they could have got the guy from Northwestern.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because his stocks was moving up the ranks. Or if they were that desperate for a corner, they could have traded all the way down and got Eric Stokes.
Mm-hmm.
They could have been right. Which was a surprising pick by the Packers, actually. I thought they would have got a receiver. And I
Yeah.
was like thinking, why'd you get the guy I like? I was hoping maybe he would slide to the Niners. I was hoping he
Yeah.
was to the 49ers so we can
Mm.
get a feisty dog cornerback, but I think in perspective, I think Packers got themselves a upgrade over Kevin King.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the Packers they have a lot of problems, especially at their quarterback position.
Yeah, because if you throw it towards Kevin King's direction, you're gonna get those big plays.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the NFC Championship game that was a lot of fun for them.
Yeah, especially running down their throats.
Yeah, it's either running it down with us or Tom Brady just airing them out.
Yeah, which one's better, running it or just throwing it? I guess running
Running it,
it's
it's
better
more
because
humiliating to get run over. I believe, especially in today's NFL. Like
yeah,
most are running for 220 yards. That just never happens in today's NFL unless you're Derrick Henry.
yeah. Derrick Henry had those kind of performances, and then you had that one performance in the playoffs where Colin Kaepernick was like running 181 yards, and the
Yeah,
Packers defense had
The Packers have lost a lot of NFC Championship games ever since they won that Super Bowl. Like it feels like a lifetime ago now. They've had a lot of heartbreakers.
yeah, it's been a curse for them. Maybe if they would have never gone there, maybe they would have been okay. But hey, it happens.
But
Maybe
it's okay.
because the team is, yeah, maybe, yeah, that's the best part. Yeah, we can get to the next topic with. So, what do you think of the defensive line group?
Love it. Love it. Chris Kureg, he's a great defensive line coach. And then having Nick Bosa, that's essentially like I guess you want to call it a draft pick in that kind of sense, bringing him back because he was pretty much gone all year. And to upgrade, like he's just an instant upgrade coming back.
Yeah, Chris Eric, man, he could have got an opportunity to be a DC elsewhere, but I think at this point he's gonna
He
bring the
likes it.
best out of any player. Yeah, like when we signed guys that nobody would talk about, like Kerry Hyder was a decent name in Detroit because he had like one good year in Detroit, but then he was
Mm.
never able to find that success after that. And once he came to San Francisco, he got back to where he was. But do you think that Chris Eric can turn guys like Jordan Willis or guys like Samson Abukum into a stud, or you think he's just gonna get a little bit of production out of him?
I think he'll get good production. I mean, Deion Jordan, like remember him? He was like a big draft bust last year, and he did okay for a guy that was a role player and ended up getting hurt. But Ziggy Ansah, I was hoping he could do something, but he got hurt too.
Yeah, and then the one interesting pickup that some people might not even see as a low risk, high reward type of situation is I think the Arden Key signing may turn into like a Kerry Hyder type signing because
Yeah,
depending
a
if
lot
the
of
injuries don't happen.
yeah. A lot of people are saying that, and he should be a great rotational player too. I mean, looking at just the starters alone, Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, Armstead, and D Ford if he can come back. I mean, that's a starting lineup right there,
Yeah,
and then DJ
yeah,
Jones right behind him.
and then what it was like, I looked at the pro football grades of Arden Key between him and Kerry Hyder.
Mm.
He was a little bit graded better than when it comes to pressure.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
but
I looked at other.
last year Hyder was our only like pass rusher essentially.
Yep, that's what it was. But he was productive when he
Yeah,
needed to step up. He did a lot. So I'm not saying that he's gonna like. I'm not saying that Key will be like another Hyder, but it has to take some injuries for him to get to that role. So I don't think so. As far as the defensive tackle, you got Kinlaw, Armstead, then you got Kerr, then you got Hurst, and you got a lot of these other guys, like these other depth guys. It's like it's gonna be tough.
mm,
I think it's gonna be hard to keep either of those guys. Like you got
yeah.
Katavius Street, and I think Ronald Blair plays both ways, right? I think he plays D tackle or the end, one of the two.
I think he plays more end, but I think he played D tackle too.
Yeah, because I see him play both sides sometimes. Like sometimes they would have him play that way mostly. Like
Yeah,
he
he
does a
was
little bit of everything.
yeah he was missed last year. I believe so, especially for depth.
Yeah, because he was coming off an ACL injury that he had against Seattle, where he got Russell Wilson, but then
Once
tore his
overtime,
ACL.
I remember. I was like, I just like shook my head when that happened. I was like, dang it, again.
I know, and he was like the key viable on that rotation too. So it was like,
Hmm.
damn. So like,
But I think hello.
I'm right here.
Okay, I thought you broke. I thought you broke up or whatever. But yeah, the defensive line. I think it's going to be back up there as top 5 D line in the NFL. That's an early prediction.
Well, early prediction is a good thing. On paper, we do have a solid deep position group. Like when it comes down to it, if a healthy D4 makes a difference, of course we're gonna have a chance. A healthy Nick Bosa, you put a Kinlaw who can emerge in his second year.
Yeah.
Armstead, maybe this is the time where Armstead could put up the decent stats like he did the previous year. But then you got DJ Jones who can stop the run and be very effective. And then depending on Kerr, depending on Kerr or Hurst, whoever makes the roster, they're gonna have a chance to have a role. And then
Mm.
when you got Samson Abukum, who's got speed and can really rush, if proper coaching by Kasarik, this guy can be a beast. So
Yes. I
yeah, I
believe
mean,
so, and plus he played for the Rams. Maybe he can help us. Like help. I mean, I don't think they really need help with the Rams because they always beat the Rams. But it's always nice to get extra info about them.
information, they might even change the scheme because they know the guys over there.
And plus Matthew Stafford's there, so it's going to be different
A little
than Jared
different.
Goff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only difference with the Rams is they did upgrade the quarterback position, but I think when it comes down to it, Stafford can never stay healthy.
Yeah, well, that's what they believe as an organization. They just need to switch the quarterback position. They'll be Super Bowl contenders. I don't think so. I think the Rams are very overrated. They're a great team, but I do not believe they're top three team. I've seen people rank them as top three. I don't believe so.
Well, I mean offensively because of Sean McVay's offense, but I think they're a little overhyped a little bit because
Yeah.
their offense has always been like really good. When you got Robert Woods, you got Cooper Cup. I mean, they
Mm.
had so many other receivers, Josh Reynolds. Dude, they even had Brandon Cooks for a short minute, and then he went to Houston. So it's like, dude,
Mm.
they got some receivers. They just never been able to like stay consistent. So it's like their running
Yeah.
game was like a little bit of what they were missing, but then it started coming on with Cam Akers, and it started coming into this
Mm.
like late in the season. So maybe he's their bow cow now.
Yeah, but maybe Stafford is the big difference. Maybe he can make more plays than Goff ever did in his time.
Well, yeah, with Stafford, he's very accurate, but the only question with Stafford is durability. So that's kind
Durability.
of like getting another. That's like getting another Jimmy Garoppolo. Not to
Yeah.
say an insult. Not to say an insult, but you do
Yeah,
like
I know what you
accurate
mean.
passers, but can't stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. You think they're gonna win the Super Bowl within 2 years? I think there's a 2 year window for them.
Well, in the 2 year window, can they get past that division? Can they get even further? Because you lost to the Packers.
Yeah,
You lost to the Green Bay Packers, man. And even with Stafford playing against Green Bay, he's never fared well against the Packers.
no, not at all, not at all. He might have won like a game or two, but the pack Aaron Rodgers, he just dominates that whole division.
Yeah, and when you're talking about a 2 year window, I think they're not going to be able to capitalize it. They'll probably maybe advance to the conference and then maybe got nowhere further from there. Like maybe they'll get one appearance from the conference and then they'll just be gone from there. So I don't know. Like they got the talent, they got
Hmm.
potential to make the strong push to go to the Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, they don't seem to produce it and get to the expectation. Like when they're supposed to have the best defense and a really top five offense, they're
Yeah.
supposed to produce. They don't seem to
Hmm.
go through that pressure good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're one of those regular season teams that are really good, but then flounder in the playoffs.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, like you look at teams like Minnesota, they might be very good in the regular season with offense, but when it came down to the playoffs, they don't seem to advance further than that.
Hmm.
Then you
But
got Atlanta. Atlanta's another team, but still.
yeah, Atlanta the biggest chokers in NFL history.
Yeah. But I think on paper, Buffalo may be the team that people might have to watch out for.
Oh, Buffalo, yeah, they're really good. And Josh Allen, I mean, he's been a big surprise to me, but that's the difference when you get a number one receiver in Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs is your typical number one receiver that you can build your team around, and I think that's what made Josh Allen elevate more into an elite quarterback. I mean, before that, they were labeling him as a running quarterback and a bust. So
Yeah,
that's what it
but
was.
going back to the draft, out of all the quarterbacks drafted, do you have a ranking from like I guess whoever got drafted in the first round? But do you have a ranking of who you believe is going to be like from the bottom all the way to the top, like Trevor, Wilson, Lance, Jones, and Fields?
This is going to be a tough one. Of course, Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. I think the expectation for Jacksonville is I think he's going to succeed in Jacksonville. The question mark is can Zach Wilson do the same? And I just don't know if he could because the pressure in New York's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And if Zach Wilson can do it, then maybe I'll eat my words on it, but I don't think he will. I think he would be the least likely to succeed because
Oh, really?
anytime
Wow.
anytime the Jets get any quarterback, they seem to fail, and
Yeah,
I
but
just don't.
I give Robert Sala and Joe Douglas a lot of credit. They gave him in this draft a lot more help than the previous regime with Sam Darnold. I'll give him that.
I mean, if I had to debate which one is likely to fail, it's gonna be a draw between Justin Fields and Zach Wilson
Oh,
because
Justin Fields. Oh man.
I think what Justin Fields' situation is the Bears don't really have much of an offense to even give Justin Fields time to evolve. I mean, he's probably gonna have to compete or be thrown in the fire. Zach Wilson, same thing, throw in the fire. He's gonna be a starter. So that might be the 50-50 where I have to choose them to be the least likely. Trey Lance, you gotta keep him in between the not apply situation because he's not going to play right away
Yeah.
unless proven wise. But the one guy who may succeed, he probably won't play right away, but in a couple years, this guy might be legit. And I think when it comes down to it, I think Kellen Mond's going to be in the right situation to excel with the Vikings.
Mm.
He'll be like their Dak Prescott, if not better.
Yeah. Well, the Vikings, they need to upgrade quarterback anyways. But if I'm looking at it, I'd say Trevor Lawrence. You're talking about just pure talent, maybe the best with Trey Lance, but Lawrence is on a really bad team right now, and I heard they might give Tim Tebow too, but I think he might be up there with Trey Lance, and I'd say Justin Fields might be the worst just because of the situation he's in. I kind of feel bad for him, and I know when he got drafted, it looked like he wasn't happy to go there, and I don't blame him at all. The Bears are terrible with quarterbacks.
But I think what the situation is, I think like you said, I think your argument is valid when it comes to the Jets situation. Maybe they are giving him the better supporting cast, and I think this wouldn't be that bad like everybody thought. Maybe I do need to go with Justin Fields and the Bears because with Chicago, you don't have an actual receiver besides Allen Robinson. Who else you got? You got this Darren Mooney, but he's nothing more than a number 3 or 4 receiver. And who's your tight end? You don't got. Is it Jimmy Graham or who is it? The guy from Notre Dame that nobody talks about? I don't know. Like the Bears, and then the Bears. Okay, yeah, you upgrade the offensive line. How much of a difference is it going to make for Justin Fields? He's probably going to still scramble and get sacked.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus Matt Nagy is still there, and it looks pretty elementary for the offense, like the scheme he runs, and no adjustments.
Yeah, I just think that with the Bears situation, it's like you need to give Justin Fields a lot more better talent around him. I mean, hey, you got him a good solid tackle in the second round. Good job, but he still needs somebody to throw the ball to.
Yeah. Everybody, like in the media, is ranking the Bears draft like an A+. I think a lot of it's on because of Justin Fields, but just look at the team around him. I don't think it's that good. They have a great defense, I believe so, but offensively, it's still an Achilles.
Yeah, defensively they're good. It's just their offense is a bit suspect and it's too inconsistent. So that might be the only reason why the Bears are where they're at. But if you take away the Justin Fields pick, I'm pretty sure it would be like a C.
Yeah.
But when you look at the other team situation, see Houston, I don't even know if Watson is actually going to play or not, but they just drafted this kid from Stanford, Davis Mills. Maybe he might play.
Mm-hmm. Well, I heard he might not. I heard Watson might not even play this year at all in 2021.
Yeah, because he's going to hold out. So maybe this is a chance for that Stanford kid to prove himself. Or maybe they'll just go with Tyrod Taylor and maybe they'll pull the same exact thing what the Chargers did and just put him out of the game or something.
Yeah. I'm surprised Tyrod is still playing. I didn't even know he was playing for the Texans of all teams. I remember in the Chargers, like the doctor messed up his chest area or whatever, and
something like that.
Yeah. So, but he'd probably be the best option right now for the Texans if I'm them.
Yeah, and then when it comes down to it, I don't know if it's true or false if Rodgers is going to sit out too. I mean, that's too much issues there. Maybe this is a chance for them to play Jordan Love.
Oh God, Love. I'm not really. I don't know. Jordan Love. I don't know if I'm feeling it, if he's going to be a great quarterback, but he might be. You never know. But for right now, we've seen nothing from him yet since he's never played yet.
Well, that's just like exactly what happened with Aaron Rodgers. He had to wait 3 years to be a starter. So maybe this will be a situation to where Jordan Love has to prove himself, and maybe this will be the chance for him to prove to the league that LaFleur was right for picking that guy.
Mm-hmm. And this could test LaFleur's credibility, anyways, because he's been 13-3 2 years in a row NFC Championship appearances, but it's with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback, and he's probably shielded a lot. He's probably shielded a lot of problems that the Packers do have outside of quarterback and the defense too. But if Jordan Love can turn out to be a great quarterback, then LaFleur is going to be an offensive genius. But if it doesn't work out, then he could be on the hot seat a little bit.
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, if he can get this kid to be good and ready to go, and this Packers team will still be good under LaFleur with this quarterback, this would make him a genius. But if he doesn't pan out, they're gonna put it as a question mark. But Rodgers, man, dude, are you complaining about the front office? Are you just, dude, just go collect your paycheck and go play, man. Just stop with this is all about you situation, man.
Yeah.
Dude, when the front office does what they can, they got you a receiver. They
Mm-hmm.
got you one finally. They got you one in the third round. Amari Rodgers, bro. They got you. They got you a Randall Cobb. Now
Yeah.
shut it and go play.
Mm-hmm. But I
That's what I
think he
would
ends
say.
up. I think he ends up playing this year for the Packers. Just I don't know about the long term future, but I think 2021. I think he comes back.
Yeah, I think there's no other option for him because if he sits out, Packers can be off the hook off of that situation. And you don't want this kid to take your job if that
If the
opens a
Packers think
door
he's
for the
not going to.
kid to. What are you gonna say? You there?
Yeah. Sorry, the signal is a little bit in and off. But what I was gonna say. But I mean, if the Packers, if they believe he's not, if he see future, you might as well just get a king. I guess the Broncos are probably to for him.
Yeah, Green Bay could actually
But
just pull a
sometimes,
trade.
if
Is your reception okay? Or
I believe so. I mean, okay, so
yeah, with Green Bay, they can get some good value right now. At this point, get something which you can get for Rodgers while you can, and just build around Jordan Love, and maybe you get something out of him. If Jordan Love don't pan out, at least you can use that draft capital for the next quarterback. I mean, it's like it's like, you know what, LaFleur, you're gonna have to take the media pressure. You're gonna take the criticism. If this guy doesn't pan out, you gotta find another guy. So
yeah. But I don't think the Packers are gonna make any moves right now. I mean, they probably would have made one by now, like after the draft. But it's been a while after the draft now, so I don't expect them to do anything.
well, they don't do much in the offseason. They don't go too big in free agency. They just go quiet. They'll get their own players or get one little small big time player that nobody talks about. Then they'll make them into something. But usually the Packers and the Patriots in Seattle are the most quiet team in the offseason because they don't usually go that big.
Yeah, but that's the problem with the Packers. They have to make some big free agent splashes once in a while. Like this is like years ago. Like Reggie White, like the first really big free agent, and they won the Super Bowl then. But I mean, I know that they do a great job of developing players in the draft, but if they don't make that big splash move in free agency, just that one, I don't believe the Packers win the Super Bowl anytime soon. You got to make one once in a while.
Yeah, now with the way they're doing it, it's like they feel like, oh, we got our own players, we can develop them, we don't need to get other players. But if you look at New England now, New England's changing their approach now. Before that, they would develop their own players. Now it's more like, we need to go big now. Belichick even realizes that.
Yeah. The same thing with Cowboys too. Jerry Jones likes to feel proud of developing guys, but never would spend that money in free agency. Only for his guys.
That's the same way with Seattle. Seattle feels like, oh, we can develop our own players. We don't have to pay them that big contract. We'll be all right. We're building around Russell Wilson. We're gonna get our own players. We're gonna develop them. We're gonna make them really good. We're gonna forget about getting the top offensive lineman. We'll develop our own linemen. Forget about top corners. We'll develop them.
They're taking a long time to develop them, especially offensive line.
Offensive line. They get these projects offensive linemen that were former defensive line or something.
Yeah, that's still the part that's hurting Seattle. I think we'll see that this year is their offensive line. I think Russell's gonna have to run for his life again.
Yeah, in that situation, but I think when they added Gabe Jackson and some other offensive line, maybe, but it's still going to be an issue because it's a little leaky, So we'll see. Because he's still going to be running. He's still going to be running for his life in certain ways. He has to extend plays and be able to throw that ball quick, or he's going to get hit. But then again, he's a little bit quicker, so he'll be able to get rid of it.
Yeah, I feel like years ago after they won the Super Bowl, when they got rid of Max Unger, I was like, that's the end of their offense. Him for Jimmy Graham in New Orleans.
Yeah, that was a downfall for Seattle was getting Jimmy Graham. And even when they lost Russell Okung, that was like a wrap. Like, dude, you had the
Mm-hmm.
guy who was good on your other side of the tackle, then
Mm-hmm.
losing your center, it just really it was a domino effect. But they still thinking they can still develop their own offensive linemen. They've been going for other offensive linemen, but they always go cheaper. Every time,
Yeah.
cheap contracts. Go big, but they don't. Seattle's like a discount store. They'll go for whoever they want cheaper. They ain't gonna spend.
Yeah. Yeah,
So that's
the 49ers, they kind of do the same thing too with like with injured players. Like I know with John Lynch now, he doesn't really take chances on injured players as much like Trent Baalke would, but he is spending a lot of
Trent
money
Baalke.
on injured players like Kwan and D Ford.
But at least he's trying to get the players. Baalke didn't even do
Yeah.
nothing. He always didn't even do. He wasn't being wise on it. But when it comes down to it, Baalke was never aggressive as much. Like when it comes down to it, it's like this guy would take chances on injured players who shouldn't even be taking a risk for. When you
Yeah.
like, how the heck do you draft a kid from South Carolina like Marcus Lattimore and this guy never played it down?
Lattimore,
That
yeah.
was
Mm-hmm.
that guy never panned
That
out.
was a
And
big
then
bummer
you
right
go,
there. Yeah.
yeah,
And then
and then you go
Tank
draft,
Caredy from Florida State.
yeah, and then you go draft a cornerback who tore his ACL, and he's on the Packers practice squad or whatever active roster, and you draft this guy, he never was the same. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
then you
hopefully
get a then
Jacksonville did have a good.
oh yeah, Jacksonville. I think when it comes down to it, they drafted solidly good, but you're gonna expect the worst in the coming days or years. Bulky's gonna go for who he wants, and eventually he's gonna take power just like he did with Hardball. You there?
Yeah. Watch out, Urban Meyer. If you lose job to your GM.
Yeah. If I'm Urban Meyer, I keep my eyes open to make sure that Trent Bulky doesn't do the same thing like he did with Hardball.
I'm surprised a GM job. I'm surprised he even has a job in the NFL debacle.
Yeah, he was working in the front office with the NFL, and then he got a job with Jacksonville. So I guess in a way, Khan just seems to like those kind of stooges. So he said, "I'm going to hire him."
Well,
That's
that's
what it
okay. I mean,
was.
it feels like a lifetime ago that Balky was our general. But the one move that I did like Balky from back when he was with the 49ers was training for Anquan Boldin. I'll give him that. That was a good move.
Yeah, and then when he went aggressive for Stevie Johnson, that was a solid move too.
Yeah. I mean, if all he has to do is try, that's what it seems like. I mean, I feel like he's like really complacent as a GM too much.
Yeah, the thing with Bulky was like when he thought, "Oh, I got one big move. I ain't worried about the rest." Remember that one free
But
agency where he didn't even sign a single player except that offensive lineman? That was it. Like, come on, man.
yeah. Oh man, those were the days. Those were the days for the 49ers, and those were some dark days after Harbaugh left.
Yeah, like this GM didn't even care. It was like he was drunk and didn't give a shit. He said, whatever. I'm not gonna pay this guy.
Yeah, and then he fires Harbaugh, and then he gets Jim Tomsula of all people. That was, that still baffles me to this day, years later, when when they got another stooge for Jed York back in the day.
Yeah, Jim Tom Sula, he's like this.
I have a picture of my thumbnail of that actually. It was a long time ago, but I think that was when he got fired.
Yeah, he was like this.
And then Chip Kelly. Well, after that we had Chip Kelly, and you know he didn't really get a fair chance. They were 2-14, but he didn't really get a fair chance. But hey, it kind of worked out. We got Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, and so far, you know, minus anything crazy, they done an okay job.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Enjoy my world. Okay, like
Mm,
yeah, the draft, man. As far as Trent Baalke, I'm gonna expect the worst in maybe next year or two. So
mm-hmm.
maybe the next year or two, you're gonna see Baalke's Eagles start to hurt Jacksonville just like he did with us.
Yeah.
I think I think the only reason why Baalke is not trying to like he's trying to make a good impression with Urban Meyer,
Hmm.
and he'll probably think at some point, hey, I'm going to have some full trust with this guy, and then I'm going to pick who I want, and then it's going to come to a point to where Urban Meyer disagrees with him. He's going to say, listen, Trent, I don't want that guy. I want this
Hmm.
guy,
Hmm.
and he's
There'll be
probably
a
going to
power.
say nope.
Yeah, there'll be a power struggle, just like in San Francisco.
Yeah, just like how him and Harbaugh were just fighting over a dumb player, and I think it's going to come down to it at some point. You know what I think? The pick, the pick was obvious. Trevor Lawrence, come on, it was obvious. Even Trent
Yeah.
Baalke had to be smart enough to keep it.
What if you drafted like a Zach Wilson or like a defensive player, number 1 overall?
Oh man, that would be the worst by
Dude,
far.
the Jacksonville fans would probably like not
Lose
even
it.
like go to their games.
They would probably just lose it and just watch AEW instead.
I know, right? I know, right? But
That's probably
yeah,
the only thing that's in
but
them.
actually, that number 1 pick should have been to the Jets, but then Adam Gase decided to win some games or whatever. I feel like he did that just to spite the Jets before he got fired or whatever.
Well, you don't want to have a terrible impression. Does Adam Gase want to come down as a winless coach at this point of the season? No.
That's
I'd rather
true.
have him. But why tank?
Yeah.
Tanking can. You want the top draft spot, but dude, nobody wants to finish the season winless. Come on.
Mm. Yeah, does tanking even work in the NFL? Maybe in the NBA, but NFL, it's hard. It's difficult to tank.
Well, it's rare occasion that you probably will finish the season winless, but when it comes down to tanking, man, dude, it's just I don't believe in the metaphor of tanking, bro. Like you got to play
Mm.
for something.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether
Even the
you get the
49ers
number
when they
three
were,
pick.
yeah, yeah. Even when the 49ers were sucking so badly, like with Chip Kelly and like early Kyle Shanahan days, they still kept playing and playing. They never stopped, and I really give them a lot of credit. I give them a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, that's the problem with this tanking stuff. Like, do you got to play for pride? Win one game that's all you ask for, or what's the point of us fans attending games if you're gonna do that? Like, there's no
Hmm.
purpose.
Yeah.
Like, why do we need to support a team that's just not putting their heart out there? Dude,
Hmm. I completely agree.
we put our hard earned money to watch you guys. At least put some strong effort. At
Yeah.
least put some work out there. At least have the front office get into the head coaches or the people's front office and get them to be serious. Because,
Hmm.
dude, we're customers. We're here to watch better results.
Got to make the
Whether
customer
you
happy.
make the customer happy. Like if this guy gave me a sloppy double cheeseburger, am I gonna eat it? No.
You better make me another one.
Yeah, like dude, if they gave me a sloppy cheeseburger that doesn't look right, I'm gonna go back to the store and tell them to make me another one.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, you guys are lucky in California. You guys have In-N-Out Burger. We definitely do not have that in North Carolina.
So what do you guys have over there?
Um, Usually the regular stuff. We don't really have anything like interesting. We have a Culver's, but we don't have any Whataburger or whatever that's called. We have
Oh,
Five Guys.
Whataburgers are bomb. Oh, fun.
No, we,
Oh,
we don't
Five
have
Guys.
that here. We only have Five Guys.
Oh, that's cool.
But
I guess it's something different in North Carolina. And I heard you guys don't have any liquor stores or stuff like that, right?
oh no, no, not at all. We have liquor store, the ABC store, but like private businesses, they're not allowed to sell liquor at all.
Oh, okay. Because I've heard the difference in that state.
Yeah, yeah. What kind of lame as a state in terms of like alcohol?
So that's a strict rule over there. But I guess that's why certain people like North Carolina because it's more strict down there.
Oh. But yeah, the one person in the 49er organization I credit a lot is actually Jed York. I mean, he's been really patient with Shanahan and Lynch. And, he said with Trey Lance, I don't know if it's true or not, but he said that he was going to be willing to keep him out for 2 years out of anybody. Let Jimmy play out his contract, assuming he plays really well, and then make the transition. But he's been really
Well,
patient with him.
yeah. Well, I think at this point, why do we want to keep Jimmy G for 2 more years? Let's see what he can do this season. If his value's too good, we need to get draft capital. We need to build around Trey Lance. And
Hmm.
at this point, his second year, he should be ready. Why
Yeah,
wait another 2 years? No
yeah.
point.
So
Give him a
even if they won the Super Bowl this year, 56, you think they should just get rid of Jimmy, even Super Bowl MVP or whatever, assuming that they do?
majority. We got Miss Falcon, then we got dude, Waterburger and all that. But dude, like the thing with the front office, man. We don't have to pressure in Trey Lance. We
Yeah.
can just let the guy sit and learn.
Mm-hmm.
Give him at least a full year. Put him in a situation to where we clinch the playoffs and we got nothing to play for and we got the top seed. Let this kid play for the final edition. Maybe he gets to prove himself in the season finale.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Give him
he
some
plays
playing
his
time.
best, if he does his best in this situation, then we'll be more optimistic for next year when it comes
Yeah.
down to it. And then when Jimmy G has great value, you trade him.
Trade
Next
him
year, you
before.
trade Jimmy. Yeah, you trade Jimmy. You trade him because
Mm-hmm.
if he does so good, why are you going to let this guy play another year?
Yeah.
You don't get no value.
Yeah.
I'm
But
good,
yeah.
Butters. I'm good.
But if he never got hurt, if he made that Super Bowl play against Emmanuel Sanders, then we wouldn't have drafted Trey Lance at all. We wouldn't even made a trade in the first place. Man, that's all it would have taken for them not to draft a quarterback this year.
We would have just drafted a project backup quarterback at the best. But
Mm-hmm.
see, I'm not a big fan of giving the guy to finish his entire contract. If you got a rookie quarterback, at least
Yeah.
develop him for a full year. And then if
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy G's value is so good, if we can get a first round pick for next year, do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But I think Jed was
Because
just saying that. I think Jed was just saying 2 years, just to appease everybody. I don't think he was actually meaning 2 years. I think he might have meant more a year, and that's it at most.
yeah, I think the thing that you got to give credit for Jed York is he's finally having some balls to at least change his ways now. Before that, he would just do some dumb decisions. Now he's starting to like
More.
take advice from his he's starting to take advice from his uncle Eddie and taking it
Yeah.
the right
Finally.
way. So,
Mm-hmm.
when he was running this front office, man, I actually had some signs of saying fire Jed York, fire
Oh yeah,
him, and then he
everybody, include myself, sell the team. There you go, sell the team.
sell the team. And then the funniest conference that with Jed York says, you can't dismiss owners. I was like, okay.
I was like,
He
whoa,
said
what
that in
is
the press.
this?
Yeah, no, like when they asked him that question about if you can you get dismissed or leave the team, and he says no, you can't fire or dismiss owners. Like what, bro?
But we could. I mean,
Yeah,
technically, he doesn't own the team. I think his parents own the team, John and Denise.
yeah,
They could have relieved him, but back in the day,
yeah. But I think they just wanted him to take full control, and I think Eddie DeBarlo approved it, so he wanted him to
yeah.
just learn from mistakes.
Well, I heard I watched the Football Life, and he said that yeah, after his whole scandal with the Louisiana governor thing, I think like he wanted the football team back, but I guess like he didn't want to be. I don't know. I guess after that, his life just wasn't the same, and then he just gave control to his sister, and then he got the family business, which he didn't want. She got the 49ers, and she didn't want that either. So really, after that whole scandal thing, nobody won.
It's like if Eddie would have just stayed out of that BS, he would have been fine. We would have gotten to be where we're at, but now that you see the difference with Jed York, he's taking it more of a serious approach now. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
this guy's he's being patient. Like, he's
Mm-hmm.
not like making bad decisions. He's not making dumb decisions. He's actually not like the thing that Jed's learned about the business is he's not here to please fans, but he's here to like do the right thing. So he's finally doing something that he should have done a while back, which is
Mm-hmm.
let those guys run the football team and just mind your own business. But if something comes to play, then you get yourself involved. But in some ways, Jed's been quiet with that
Yeah,
decision.
he's been
Like,
very quiet. Yep. He hasn't really talked like at all, really, since Kyle
yeah,
Shanahan's gotten here.
yeah. Since Kyle Shanahan's been running the front office with John Lynch, he hasn't been quite involved with everything. It's been mostly like when they draft players, he'll talk
Mm-hmm.
to them and just tell them
Or
to
Super
show
Bowl
up. But then
appearances.
that's about it. He'll
Mm-hmm.
he'll barely be on TV every now and then, but when he goes on TV, they'll ask him questions, but he'll just say, "I'm not involved with all the decisions." It's like
Yeah.
that's up to those. He says, "I got confidence in Kyle and John, so
Mm-hmm.
they'll do the good job." And then when he was asking about those leaks and those newses, he says, "That's I don't remember any of those guys doing stuff like that. And if
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
knew, I would know." He says, "I've seen worse, and they're
Mm-hmm.
not even in that category."
Yeah, that's how it was with us in Carolina with Jerry Richardson before all this stuff happened with him, the allegations and whatever. But he was the same thing when he owned the Panthers. He was very quiet. The time he was the owner for the Panthers. I don't even think he said anything. The only time he said something was to fire George Seifert and John Fox, and that was it. So he was a quiet guy. He
Yeah,
let the football guys do everything.
but then he stepped down from ownership too, from that
Yeah,
situation.
he had yeah allegations and then racist allegations too. So it was pretty serious, and he ended up selling the team to David Tepper.
Yeah, so like, and then so I guess a lot of that does play a factor with ownership. If ownership does it the right way, they're not going to have an issue. But when it comes
Hmm.
to Jed York in his early years, he would always want to have full control of what he wants. Like, hey, I
He
want this guy.
yeah he wanted to be like Jerry Jones. I think he wanted all the credit back in those days.
But I think he started thinking like, no, it's just your credit. Like when
Yeah.
he, like the time they won the NFC championship game, he was going to give him the trophy, but then he just said, no, 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 I don't want credit. This is to you, Kyle.
Yeah, and he told him to give it to his dad, which was awesome.
Yeah, which was something different from Jed. Usually, like that time when he was with Jim Harbaugh, he wanted the credit. He was like,
Give me the trophy. Give me that big back in the day they had that really big trophy, the conference championship. Give it
yeah,
to
and he
me.
would
I
pick it up.
want
He would, and he wanted it, but then you can tell the difference with him when he went with Shanahan. It was like, no, you have it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, dude, like I think the offseason will determine what's gonna happen, but I think the one that's more interesting to me is the receivers. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
outside of Debo and Ayuk, I think the third one's more intriguing. Is it
Mhm.
gonna be true that it's gonna be Jalen Hurts, or is it gonna be Richie James, Jaquan Jennings, Austin Watkins, Sanu? I wonder who's gonna step up for that third spot.
I think it's going to be between Richie James and Jalen Hurd if he can step on the field.
Yeah, I think it comes down to those two, and then maybe you have to pick between the other three, Sanu, Jennings,
J-
and yeah, and Watkins, and that would leave the sixth spot there.
Yeah, actually, Sanu, he's a great pickup again because Ayuk, he said he was a very big help early on, when last year when he was a rookie. So having him back, it might help him even more.
Yeah, and I think maybe the situation at the time was his role. Like they didn't have much role for him. Now that he knows the offense and he's too familiar with it, I think they're gonna have to play him a little more than expected.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he could be like Emmanuel Sanders. Sanders was like the biggest blessing for the 49ers in 2019 for the receivers. I thought early on that time they were struggling mightily, even though we were winning all those games, but they were mightily struggling as a receiving core. But then when Sanders came from Denver, that made the big difference. So maybe Sanu could play that role again in 2021.
Yeah, I think with his veteran leadership and his presence, I mean, I think he adds a big difference. I mean, it doesn't hurt to add a veteran receiver that's been
Hmm.
there and done it and played under Kyle's offense before. So I would have thought maybe we would have just got a veteran receiver. I was thinking, man, we could have just got a Golden Tate. Golden Tate's a veteran. He plays
Yeah.
exactly the same way as and somebody like Debo can. He's modern. He Patterson's game after him a little bit. Could
Hmm.
have signed him, and he would have been a nice
Yeah.
number 3 receiver.
Hmm. But I don't think Sanu's gonna be playing that much. He might play maybe less than 5 snaps, I think, per game.
And maybe get 1 or 2 catches a game at best, but
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's how he was last year before they cut him in 2020.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he might not even make the team. He has to impress the coach staff really good.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
Yep.
think
Yep.
I think if you watch that kid Austin Watkins, he might even make some noise in training camp. So that might be a guy to watch out for.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if you hardly dropped any passes at UNAB, then you might be a steal.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, the 49ers have problems with dropping passes, and if he can make a big difference in terms of being consistent, that'd be great for the receiving core and whoever's the quarterback.
Yeah, because it depends who's available. But Jimmy G, we all know that his name is Mister Not Available at
Oh
the moment,
gosh. Mr. Jimmy Glassman.
or Jimmy Not Available. That's what I call
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, and or Stephen A. Early on, porn star Jimmy G, because he dated that woman or whatever when he first got here.
Yeah, that porn star woman. Yeah, like I've heard of
Yeah,
her.
Yeah,
Forget her
yeah.
name, but I
But
think it
yeah,
was Mia something.
yeah. I think yeah. But this week's schedule coming out Wednesday. That's a big event for everybody in the NFL. I know that sounds really dumb for us fans to get excited for our schedule release, but the NFL, they make it an extravagant event. They're very good at marketing. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they're good at marketing, but they always make false hope.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. But I heard the 49ers, they're gonna release their schedule on 7:45, so I'll be seeing who they play like in order and then see how many primetime games they get. Definitely.
Yeah. I know we're gonna play the Bengals. That's likely.
Yeah. It's been the 17th game that'll be them. But I love to see when they play the NFC West teams. Is it early on, middle of the season, later on, and then the bye
I
week too? I
think
think
yeah, I think the bye weeks will probably be 2 bye weeks because it's going to be like an 18 game schedule. Maybe
yeah.
maybe middle in the season we can play our division.
Hmm.
I think that would be perfect, and then we would be in a win-win situation to where it wouldn't hurt us that long haul, and then maybe we play middle in the season of our division.
Hmm.
Beginning of the season, it can be questionable. End of
Yeah.
the season, that could be the gauntlet.
Oh yeah. Definitely. But hoping for I'd say like 11 wins for the 49ers. I don't know what you're predicting, but I'd say about 11, 12 wins if the team can stay healthy.
Oh, I'm thinking the same exact thing. 11 or 12 wins if healthy, but at the worst, 7 wins because injuries can really hurt us. And
And we saw that
I
last year.
think, yeah, if healthy, we can be a 11 and 12 win team for sure, and we have a chance to make a deep run. But it's about staying healthy. That's all it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I would not be surprised at all if everybody in the West made the playoffs.
That would be the shocking if our division in fourth place made the playoffs, and the guy
Hmm.
in the NFC East had the worst record but made the playoffs. Like, come on.
Yeah. I kind of wish they did reseeding for the playoffs. Like you still like they still do top division teams, but then they'll seed it by like who had the best record, and then they'll have the home game.
Well, you gotta understand, like when you win your division, you're automatically in the playoffs. So I
Yeah.
may not agree with the record, but if you won your division, you're in the playoffs.
Yeah. But I'm glad last year the what was it the Washington one with a 7-9 record, because I did not want to see the Giants with a second 10 record make the playoffs. That'd be really bizarre.
That would be disappointing in some way, yeah. I mean, the
Hmm.
Giants had all the potential. They were making a late push, and then they just came short. So it's like
Yeah.
you could have had the Eagles winning it. They could have been 8-8, or what is it, like 8-7 in their division or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yeah, they even beat Seattle. I remember that. That was the shocker, like shocker of the year when they did that.
Yeah, the Giants were making late season strides and push to making the playoffs, and then they just weren't able to get it done. So it's like
Mm,
they could have had that strong push, but
yeah,
Washington just had the better defense, and they were just managing games and able to win the game. So that's
and
what made Washington.
Alex Smith, that was like one of the greatest stories I've heard in a while. But I hope he has a great retirement.
Well, I hope so too. I mean, as much as the guy has been through a lot, he's been through like a lot of coaching changes in San Francisco. Went to Kansas
Offensive
City with a
coordinator.
better situation. Yeah, then he went to Kansas City with a better situation. Then when he went to Washington and it was a lot worse than San Francisco, to be
Yeah.
honest. But now he got
Hmm.
a chance to get back in the playoffs, and he was able to do that, but he wasn't able to play. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, but I think the comeback story just proves to me that hey, any injury you can overcome it. But I think at this point he was doing too much for himself. I think it was better for him to retire, in which he made the right
Hmm.
decision.
Yeah, I believe so too. Just for his sake. Like he made his
Yeah,
comeback. We 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 know you could play football, but I think just for your health and for your family's sake, I think you should call it a career.
yeah, and you almost lost your leg, so come on, dude.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. So yeah, dude. So as far as like the draft, like you said, a B, that's reasonable because there's some grades that we could have got. We could have got ourselves a receiver, maybe an edge rusher, but it's
Hmm.
all right. I think we're pretty stacked there. That's what they were
Yeah.
talking about during the draft is we could have got an edge rusher there too, or at least a receiver. So that was the only thing. But I give it at least an A- personally because
Hmm.
we hit it off the
Hmm.
ballpark. We hit all these picks good. It could
Yeah.
have been better. It could have been an A+ if they would have never got another running back. He could have
Yeah,
just got a
yeah.
receiver or an edge
Mm,
rusher, and it would have been an A plus no matter what.
yeah. Well, we have been drafting a lot of edge rushers ever since like what was it Simon Thomas or DeForest Buckner. Man, we just drafted like I remember that time we were drafting like 3 or 4 defensive linemen in the first round in a row.
Yeah, I remember a time we would always draft receivers every year, but now
Oh
it's
my
just the streak
gosh.
ends. The streak
Yeah.
ends.
Yeah, it's like
Ends.
Detroit. It's like Detroit and Matt Millen when he was the GM for the Lions. They drafted like 3 receivers in the first round, 3 consecutive years.
And only one just panned out, and the other one just was like the majority of them were busts. So like, come
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
man.
Mm.
Like Roy Williams was the only one that panned out, and I don't know if he was there when they drafted Calvin Johnson, but I
I
think
think so.
he
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of.
yeah. They were because he got drafted in 2007, and then he got fired a little bit into 2008. That's when they went 0-16.
That's the only ones he hit the home runs on was Roy Williams
And
and
Calvin
Calvin
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah,
The rest of them bust.
actually, those were the only two guys that made it to a Pro Bowl. Everybody else was a non-Pro Bowler.
They were just non-contributors. Like most of them didn't do much.
Yeah.
Mike Williams, are you serious? Yeah, man. Like, and then he comes back to the NFL with the Seahawks and had a little comeback. Then he just retires.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean
So
we could be Lions fans and getting tortured there, but luckily we're not.
yeah, luckily we don't get used to that expectation of blow. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, maybe for like 2 to 3 years, like recently, but for the most part, the 49ers, they've been stable, but they haven't been as stable as the 80s or 90s. But you know what? 2 Super Bowl appearances in this century, that's a little bit surprising considering they've had a lot of ups and downs from the 2000s
Now,
all until now.
yeah, it's just a matter of we can just finish the game and win the damn thing. Not come
Yeah.
short.
Hmm.
We don't just come here to the Super Bowl. We come here to win.
Yep. That was a big tradition back in those days.
Now it's kind of like we're starting to be like the Cleveland Browns. Come on, man.
Oh no. Oh no. Or the Minnesota Vikings. They made it to all those Super Bowls and lost all of them, and the Bills too.
Yeah, but I think with the change of what's going on, maybe this will be the third time that Shanahan gets it together, and we probably get it the third time from him.
I I hope he runs the ball all the way in the fourth quarter. Please do so.
At least run the clock. At least try
Yeah,
to do some sweep plays, man. Do it on Debo,
yeah.
man. Debo was having a ball game running the ball
Mm-hmm.
too.
I remember that. Yeah, yeah. Like if they would have won the game, I think Debo would have been MVP of the game for a rookie. Of all,
Debo was on his way to get 100 yards, and
he
it was
just
like what is it
stopped.
three runs or 3 or 4 runs for 63 yards
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that.
It was like in the first quarter. Most of it in the first quarter, a little bit in the second, and then they just stopped for whatever reason.
And then Mostert was having a slow start, then he started running a little bit better, and then
Mm.
they stopped doing it.
They just stopped using him. I guess he wanted Jimmy to be the hero of the game, which don't be like Pete Carroll, man. Don't make don't stray away from your identity, which is running the ball.
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, hopefully Shanahan changes the way he did. I mean, I think the second time, I think he's starting to learn, and the third time now he's gonna have to get it together. So this will be the third time that he finally gets it the right way. But
Yeah.
the first and second time was just his mistakes. Now he's starting to get it.
Hmm.
So let's just hope for the best. But by the meantime, man, yeah, we're over an hour, bro. Maybe next time on
Yeah.
your next schedule we can do one another time, man. But I
Oh
appreciate
yeah,
you as my
definitely.
guest.
Appreciate you
Uh,
having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. I know the reception issues was going off a little bit for you and me also. So it's like, yeah, do anytime whenever the schedule's available and we both have
Mm-hmm.
the same time to be available. We'll go on and chit chat a little here and there. But yeah, dude, like you're very knowledgeable and I
Mm-hmm.
see where you're coming from when it comes to the matchups. Sometimes some people may look at you and say you're a little bit biased.
Or
I don't know, like
delusional. Or
delusional. Yeah, that's what they would
yeah.
say. Like some of the other fans would say that, and I'm like, okay, I guess in a way you would. In some ways, I would think exactly like them, but then I would think, well, look at the matchup, look at the talent. Maybe he
Yeah,
isn't that
look at the
biased.
team. I mean, 13-3 last year. Like I guess I was just a little smart, just a little bit.
Yeah, maybe you were a little bit of a smart ass. No, I'm just
Yeah.
playing.
No, but I'm hoping for a Super Bowl title because I wasn't born like when they won their last title with Steve Young. I'm just hoping for one, at least.
Well, I was able to at least witness one, but that was like I was about 5 or 4, so that was a long time.
No, you know what? I wasn't even thought about in 1994.
Dude, I was just like I was like gonna be 5, and my brothers was watching
Mm,
it, and didn't remember much of it, but I remember my brothers and my family were all like watching a game, and I had a feeling it was the Niners and Chargers game. So
mm,
I don't remember much of what happened at the time, but I
mm.
remember the time they were yelling and screaming, like excited, like I was like,
Yeah,
okay. But
yeah.
if
But
this came to
hoping
this,
this year.
yeah, hoping this year we can get it, but maybe this would be a different vibe for me because maybe I would do a comparison between the 95 year where we won the Super Bowl in 94 and then
Mm,
compare it to this year, and then I would have a different reaction. But there's a lot of videotape pictures, a lot of videotapes then, I probably wouldn't be able to find that one. So, I
mm.
wouldn't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
But
Exactly.
I remember in 92 or 94 or something, I had like a little gold jacket. I was a little kid, so
Mm,
it's an old memory.
mm. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Be sure to like check out his channel, Bryan Chung, man. You want to have some good conversation. He'll give you his matchups and his honesty about who's gonna win and why, because that's just the way Bryan does. But he's no longer the instinctive Bryan, so you gotta go by his government
Actual name.
name,
Yeah.
the Chung
Actual name.
actual name,
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
name. Yeah, and he is no relations to Patrick Chung. Okay.
No, 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 no.
I'm just
No,
playing
I think Chung's I think he's Korean from what I recall. I'm Vietnamese and Chinese, so we're definitely not really same surname, but different. I think different
Yeah, that's
like
what I mean.
origin.
I was just being sarcastic, man.
No, yeah, you good.
Yeah, man. But yeah, appreciate you coming by. Maybe we'll reschedule another time. Want to let this phone
Oh
charge
yeah.
up? Yeah,
Mm,
do anytime. Yeah, you can just put it on your community tab or whatever. Maybe new people will start coming around, but
mm-hmm.
I'm good with the amount of people who come and watch. It'll get
Yeah,
there.
yeah, definitely. Especially when the season comes up. That's when
Yeah,
the football stuff gets more popular.
yeah, that's the truth. It's off season; it gets quiet, but the draft season, it was getting popping for a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And maybe you'll get a little pop up if you do a live video with the schedule release, and then after that it gets really quiet with off season programs.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I kind of been mixing up my topic here and there. Like I was doing the one with Tim Tebow signing with the Jaguars, and it was like a
Mm.
different reaction. I thought, hey, Urban Meyer knows the guy. Maybe there's something good with Tebow switching to tight end, and
Yeah,
maybe this would pan out.
he's finally opening to another position, which is cool.
Yeah,
But
he
maybe
was
Trevor
stubborn,
Lawrence.
but
I saw a comment. Maybe Trevor Lawrence has to look over his shoulder now for Tim.
Tim Tebow, he
I
caught the
remember that.
ball.
Man, those were fun. I remember the NFL. Those were fun days. I remember when he was with the Broncos.
Yeah, but he would do the thing called Tebow lean,
Yeah, exactly. Whew.
like bend and cross.
I'm a
Got too
Tebow fan.
religious.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah, it
Tebow
got
fan.
too
I like
religious.
Tebow.
Yeah, but I think it will pan out for the best. But
Mm,
all right, Brian, we'll do one another time, man. Appreciate it.
definitely.
And
Hmm.
be sure to check out Bryan Chung, or should I say, used to be Instinctive Brian, but me
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Instinctive no more.
You can still call me that once in a while. I still have my mug right here, so still got
Yeah.
this mug.
Also, it's Brian here talking to the San Francisco 49ers.
Always.
Always. And here's why we're gonna win.
Yeah.
One, we got the best. We got
Always
the
gotta explain why.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, Kyle Shanahan's a genius. We're gonna play against what is it, the Bengals? Oh, this coach. I'm gonna give the advantage to the 49ers. Now, that would be your easy way of saying that's gonna be a win.
Yeah, exactly. I've had some easy games,
Yeah, and then some
in
of
the
them
NFL there's no such thing as a guarantee.
there's no such thing as guarantee. It can be the upset of the year that a team that was better and undefeated can get beat by a team that was terrible.
Yep, just like the Falcons when they beat us in 2019. That was an upset.
Yep, that was an upset. And then you had Seattle beating us that year when we were undefeated,
Oh my
and it was
gosh,
upset.
yeah, that was a fun game to watch, but I wasn't happy with the ending. But still, it was a fun game, nevertheless.
Yeah, in a way, it was an upset because we were undefeated. I think we were 8-0 that day, and they
Hmm.
beat us.
Just a smidge bit. Chase McLaughlin just would have made that kick. We would have won that game.
Damn McLaughlin. I don't even know if he's still in the NFL
No, he just
now,
he
but
just he just got cut. Actually, I don't know where, but he just got cut. I heard.
I hope he never steps in a foot in the NFL no more.
That's
Or
okay. We
or
got Robbie
maybe
Gould back.
yeah, or maybe he can go to a team we play against and he can play terrible there.
You can go to Cardinals. Cardinals have had trouble with kickers, I think.
Yeah, I think they cut Zane Gonzalez or they still got him. I don't know.
I think they cut him. I think.
Yeah, like he's a little inconsistent at times, but I guess cutting him was the best thing for them. But
Hmm.
all right, yeah. So we're gonna call it a day and
Oh
instinct it
yeah, yeah.
Brian, or should I say
Hmm.
Bryan Chung?
Yep.
We'll see you soon.
Hmm.
Peace. Go
All right,
Niners.
Ruthless. Appreciate you, and you guys have a good one. Go Niners.
All day, every day.
Every day, every day. You guys have a good one.
All right, peace, y'all.
Mm.